The next thing on the list is balanced. And then we have a whole lot of different interpretations of balanced. Balanced over the horse, which requires physical awareness. And how do we build this up? I think that doing a sport or martial arts really helps with your physical awareness. But I also think that there are certain things that we've talked about before that are just in your everyday. Brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. When you get dressed, don't get dressed exactly the same way every day, so that you're really paying attention to how your body moves and what you're doing and where you are when you're doing it. Being present, as Shaylin said. You when you're grooming your horse, do we always curry comb or brush with the right hand? When you're on the left side, you could curry comb with the left hand. When you're on the right side, use the right hand. Try to change things up a little bit so that you feel like you actually have to put a little bit of thought into what you're doing. And I think doing stuff like last year, actually, I haven't been doing it this year, but last year, Peyton and I were trying to eat with the chopsticks with our non-dominant hand. So as if it's not already that you're not getting anything to eat when you're eating with the chopsticks anyway, then challenging yourself with it. But think about your horse and how your horse feels about, the fact that one hand is dominant and knows what it's doing and is always doing something, and the other one is I'm speaking for myself now, is not always doing what I'm asking it to do. So practicing throughout the day by not just always reaching for the door with the right hand or these kind of things, that it's going to help you out, believe it or not. And we have to remind ourselves, because I'll go through periods and I'll be really good about it, and then I'll forget again. So now I'm back in that. So that's fun. Thank you guys for that. I always appreciate being reminded of these things I need to keep up with. Okay, balanced in our approach. So that here is Meg's point. It takes some knowledge of the sport itself, the requirements, the progression, and the principles. How do we improve this knowledge? So there's lots of things we can do beside our lessons. We can read books and articles. I really prefer that we read books and articles that are written by masters, as they are really the experts in the systematic training. A lot, there's just so much information out there, so many books, so many articles, so many things. And so I would say, if you're picking something that is less known, does not mean that it's not good, but you just might want to ask for a recommendation. Is this an author I should be reading? Ask people that know, because sometimes people that haven't really been there and done it are making opinions and are really have time and make effort to get their opinions out there. Oftentimes, when I see this information, I find it to be misleading. I like to train the horses in a way from when they're little all the way up that things are making sense. And because I have trained Grand Prix horses and ridden Grand Prix, I have an idea of what the horse needs to know and understand when it gets to that level. And so I'm not writing a training book on training Grand Prix horses. I haven't done the hundreds that these other masters have done, of course not. But I do, and I would say that sometimes there are very good points that people bring up that haven't gone all the way, but just be careful about the information, that you don't get off. We want to go on a line, on a progression, and we don't want to get off on a tangent somewhere. So sometimes we can get off, going down a road and have a hard time getting back on track. And I think that when we're looking at articles, when we're reading stuff, when we're looking at stuff on the internet, buying books and things like that, make sure it's always, there's oftentimes people will be recommending, right? So you can look on the back of the book, who read it, who recommends that book. And when you recognize those names and you think, yeah, that's somebody who's training philosophy, I believe that's somebody that I really respect and I want as a mentor, then that book is for you. But if you're looking at the back of the book and you don't recognize the names, or even worse, they're people that you don't identify with, then that would not be a book that you would take knowledge from.